Greetings, family, and welcome to another edition of Black Talk Radio, where black media matters and black life definitely matters. Today is Sunday, August 12th, 2018. Family, this video is about the governor of Chicago, Bruce Rauner, or Rauner. I hope I'm saying his name right, but he won't send in the National Guard to stem Chicago violence. Let's take a look at what his reasonings are and if they make sense. This story comes out of Springfield, Illinois. A violent weekend in Chicago is not a reason to send in the National Guard, Governor Bruce Rauner said this week. The governor rejected suggestions he send in the Guard after more than 70 people were shot and nearly a dozen killed in the city. Rauner made the comments during a visit to Peoria on Wednesday, saying, quote, "The National Guard is not for neighborhood policing," unquote, WGN reported. Even so, the governor called the violence in Chicago heartbreaking. Quote, "It's got to end," unquote, he said. Well, family, I am going to say a little commentary to this governor for a second here. So first and foremost, I want to give a major shout out to a longtime YouTuber who I have been subscribed to, and many of you probably know already by the name of Mr. Superboy 223. Mr. Superboy 223 has always advocated solutions to ending the violence in Chicago because, for one, he lives there. So if anybody would know, it's someone who has experience, and having the experience of living there, they would know more than anyone. And so I've heard him over the course of time mention numerous times that they should send in the National Guard. If I'm incorrect about that, I'm sure he will let me know. Anyways, back during that time, I didn't quite understand the solutions to that quite well. I didn't quite understand just how it would play out, and lo and behold, I understand now. Mr. Superboy 223 was true and correct. The National Guard being sent in Chicago would not only stem and curb the violence, it would expose the lack of policing that's actually happening in that city that's causing all this violence in the first place. In other words, what I'm saying is the police simply are not doing their jobs. That's plain and simple. When it comes to the black communities, the police are not doing their jobs. And for all the white racists who come to our channels and try to push these talking points of Chicago in our face, it's comical. It's actually sad and pathetic as well, because they're the ones mostly coming into our neighborhoods, dressed up as black folk. They have the masks, they have the costumes to do it, and pass themselves off as black and kill black life. Black people don't believe for 1 minute that we are the ones who are killing each other on this level. We know that we're not doing that. So I say to Governor Bruce Rauner that you are making a huge mistake not sending in the National Guard to expose the rogue so-called police force in Chicago. Fire Rahm Emanuel as well. Get someone in there who really cares. But I'm going to extend this video, and I'm not going to go into this other video that I saw on the Laura Ingraham racist angle. I'm not going to go into that video. I'm just going to extend this video right here and right now. I watched that video of Laura Ingraham, and she was interviewing two African Americans, males. And in the discussion, they were coming up with solutions. And I don't have their names down, and I apologize about that. If you really want to know, I'm sure you can do some search and you'll find it. But nonetheless, one of the guys, before they got into talking about the solution, they showed a clip of a resident of Chicago. And you know what he said? He said to the white news reporter, "Why is it that you guys, the police, are policing downtown? Why is it that they take care of the north side? But you see, when it comes to the black side, well, they let it go to the level of where it's at today. And then they helped orchestrate it as well. And they think we don't know this. How there are mysteriously a high number of black deaths in one city and no suspects or leads for that matter." And while I'm on that subject, let me just ask this question before I lose this train of thought. Whatever happened to security cameras? What is it that you have amnesia now? You forgot what they are? In these high crime neighborhoods, you mean to tell me that no one's thought to invest in and put up in the infrastructure security cameras? You mean to tell me that none of you who are making high salaries working in the city have not thought of that? So you have a police force that aren't doing their job, and then you have no security cameras or suspects whatsoever, and you have a governor who doesn't want to bring in the National Guard to expose all of these shenanigans, inaccuracies. You don't want all of this exposed. So instead, you point your finger and you blame black people without even having the evidence. You see the trick? You blame black people for all these killings and you don't even have the evidence. Yes, I say that because I've had trolls come to my page trying to blame black people, and I asked them, where's the evidence? What evidence do you have to even make that assumption? See, they want to blame black people so bad. And this leads me to another thought before I forget this one. There's something about Chicago that they want, black folks. They want Chicago. They want you out and they want to move in. That's why they're creating all this mess so that they can try to say that they're coming in and cleaning it up, when in actuality they're creating it just so they can gentrify you out, just so they can get you out. We're called the United States of America, but yet we're not so united, are we? Because if we were, whether you lived in Miami, California, or bumfuck Texas somewhere, it doesn't matter. You would be interested in making sure that Chicago was just as fine as the rest of the United States of America. And so we have a lot of problems and issues going on with these killings in Chicago. And again, black people, we are fully aware of these things. And so Governor Bruce Rauner, however the hell you pronounce your name, I'm quite disappointed that even you at your old age, couldn't figure this one out. You couldn't even do your job right, let alone the police force there. So let's get to the solutions. Like I said, I saw this program on the Laura Ingraham Racist Angle show, and a couple of the brothers on there, both of them as a matter of fact, had some pretty good solutions, aside from the security cameras that I brought up, because neither one of them even said anything like that, and neither one of them even mentioned the National Guard. But nonetheless, both of these brothers mentioned that they need to have more policing, permanent policing, not just a weekend, not just for a few weeks, but permanent policing without violating 98% of the black residents there and finding out who the 2% that are doing all this death and destruction. You find out who they are and you get them off the streets. If you could carry out your job without violating the human and civil rights of other black Americans, if you could do your job without violating other people's rights, is all we ask. But we need a permanent presence of policing. You know, like parked on the side of the road, like on the freeway, when people see the police cars, they slow up. You know, we're talking about that kind of policing, where you're just present. You're not harassing people for having a cell phone in their hand, or for having Skittles in their hand, or for holding hands and both people are black. So, part of that solution is a permanent presence of police, for one, without violating our civil and human rights. And then secondly, having a police presence in our community permanently with a strategic idea and plan in mind that works and curbs violence, not what you're currently doing. And then thirdly, getting investors to invest back into the city in these areas to where these people can get jobs and have something to do, instead of closing down businesses like you've allowed to happen in these areas, just so that these people wouldn't have anything to do. Your design, your racist system, your racist designed system needs to stop. Put your money where your mouth is. If you're so concerned about Chicago, put your money where your mouth is. Put your damn money where your mouth is. This is Guru at Black Talk Radio, where black media matters. Thank you for joining, and please subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. We'll see you in the next one. Talk to you soon. I'm done. Peace out. Why does white Americans expect black people to take care of what we don't own? That is the wildest thing. Sure, we can clean up our areas, but when you don't take care of what you own, why should we clean it up? Have you ever thought about that? When you let the leaks go on, when you let bugs come in, and you let rodents in your buildings, and you let things happen that are not the control of the people who live there, when you let those things go on, and believe me, I've lived where there was a slumlord before. Yes, I had to sue them, but it was their property. They neglected to take care of it while people lived there. That's happening all over America. And white people, you have a lot to do with it. Now, I'm done.